Well, we are set for Game 6 of this best-of-7 series between the Blue Jackets and the Boston Bruins. The Blue Jackets, for the first time in this series, have their backs against the wall. This is a must-win game for them tonight. Bob McElligott, Jean-Luc Grand-Pierre, Jody Shelley, we are all here. And, guys, coming in the door and just being here, and I think more people are enjoying the sunshine right now before they come inside. But what is the feeling here? I get a little sense of apprehension because of what this is, elimination game. The Blue Jackets have been here before. They have not succeeded in this game. But, Jody, they've done a lot of things this year that they've never done before as a team.
Yeah, and I think the time to be nostalgic is kind of behind everybody on this night, because the Blue Jackets, they're in this. They're in this second round of the playoffs. They're against the Boston Bruins. They've had a pretty easy course when you look at the results and how they've played. They were up 2-1 at home here, and then things kind of got away, and now they're back. They're down by one game. So tonight they have to win. And, yeah, there's apprehension with that, but I think if you look at the way they finished Game 5 in Boston, how they came back and played their style of hockey, then you're kind of said, okay, they found it. Now bring it home and play that way from the start of tonight until that horn goes.
Jean-Luc, the Boston Bruins were just in this spot in the first round. They were down 3-2 to Toronto. They came back, and they won 2 games in a row to move on and face the Blue Jackets. They do have veterans. They do have experience in doing this. But the only way the Blue Jackets are going to get that experience is by going through it, and that's the chance they have tonight.
Yes, and it's a huge chance for the Blue Jackets to be able to achieve that. It's part of the learning curve. And I'll tell you guys weren't here this weekend, but I was here for the watch party, and this crowd was as loud as they come. It was incredible. They had everything going on. So the Blue Jackets are going to need that crowd tonight behind them, because I can sense the apprehension from everyone here in the concourse so far. It's a nervous feeling that everyone has, but I think once they drop the puck, everything's going to go loose and crazy, and hopefully it's the same thing for the team.
Jody, you talked about the last 10 minutes of that previous game in Boston and how they were able to turn it on so quickly. And really the formula was they finally just got pucks to the net.
Yeah. And that's something that, I'm not sure why early in the game. I felt like they were not skating as well as they were in previous games. I also felt like maybe they were being a little cautious on taking penalties. Remember, Game 4 really cost them with some of those calls, and earlier in the series when they let the Bruins get their footing and go to the penalty, and the Blue Jackets went to the penalty box. So were they being too hesitant in those situations? I don't know, but they finally got pucks to the net. Seth Jones, that play he made from the corner, he just throws the puck from a tough angle. And it was his second attempt to get it there that gets to the front of the net and then somehow finds a way in. And that's exactly what he has to do. He's almost under the goal line there. He knows he's got Jenner in front, who's leading the team with shots on goal with 30 in the playoffs, because he's just got that attitude. And when you bring that attitude of filtering pucks, you're going to get a bounce. In this case, it goes off their own player and past Tuukka Rask. So great job by Seth Jones, and that's what these players need to do. Simplify, but really have that mindset of anywhere they are, behind the goal line, in tight angles, throw it through that traffic and look for that bounce.
And then John Tortorella said after the game that he was okay with the intensity. He was just unhappy that players didn't make plays. And right after that goal goes in by Seth Jones, they did start making plays. Ryan Dzingel comes down the left wing side. Matt Duchene, who's been great in these playoffs, makes a great play to get him the puck.
Yes, and again, Matt Duchene, incredible play. He's being hogged by Zdeno Chara on that play and puts it across the Dzingel, finds the spot up top there. It's a goal scorer's goal right there, and Ryan Dzingel was due, and we need to see a little bit more of that tonight from him, absolutely.
So, again, getting the puck to the net, it pays dividends. Now, they get to within one. All of a sudden, they give up a goal. Then they had to come back and get that one. And Dean Kukan, who had not had a goal ever in his NHL career, finally comes through with one. Felt bad for the guy. He missed it. He shot it so hard he went down on one knee. He missed it. But, again, Jody, it's just about getting the puck to where it needs to be at Tuukka Rask.
Yeah, he missed it in live action, but I tell you what, he probably saw the replay, and he was probably thrilled to have all of his teammates come over and celebrate. What a shot by Dean Kukan. What a time for that to go in. It really looked like the Blue Jackets were going to surge and come back and get that victory. They didn't, but again, I like the confidence in keeping things simple. New guys scoring. Only 5 guys scored in this series in the first 4 games, whereas think of the previous series, you had 12 different goal scorers in the first 4 games. This team needs more guys going. Where's Bjorkstrand, Atkinson, and the power play the last 2 games not clicking?
No, not clicking at all. Absolutely right. And Jean-Luc, we just talked about all the positives that happened to get back to a tie. Then all of a sudden there's a negative that happens. Another odd man rush, one too many against for the Boston Bruins. They get the goal with 1:28 left in regulation.
Yes, and that was a big bummer for the Blue Jackets, because you had that feeling that this game was going to go overtime, and obviously the momentum was on the Blue Jackets side, which I thought if they were going to overtime for sure, the Blue Jackets were going to win that game. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out that way. But again, it's about pressing. And there's a minute and a half. Yes, you feel you have the momentum. You want to put in the net, finish the game. But unfortunately for the Blue Jackets, one too many risks there. Got caught on the defensive side, and we know Boston can counterattack with the best of them. They're deadly on the counterattack, and they proved it again on that last goal.
One guy that we saw for the very first time in a Blue Jackets uniform in that game on Saturday was Vladislav Gavrikov. He is the Russian defenseman, just signed a contract a couple of weeks ago, comes over, makes his NHL debut in a Stanley Cup playoff series. He did a good job. We're going to hear from John Tortorella in a couple of minutes here, but he did a good job where he's going to get ice time again tonight.
Yeah, he's a big guy. I mean, he's a sixth-round pick in 2015. What are you getting in this guy? He's watched. I like the way he jumped in, and he didn't back off. He didn't look for easy plays. He was up in the play trying to forecheck. He joined the rush. So that tells you that he's not – obviously he's nervous, but he's got some confidence. He understands the way they want to play here. And for him to go in Boston and do that, I'm excited for him. I'm excited for the team. Look for him to have more of an impact here tonight.
And Jean-Luc, he's played in the Olympics. He's played in the KHL. Yeah. He's not a 19-year-old guy coming in here for this.
Yeah, he's not. He's got some international experience. And what I really like about his game is they got him involved right away. Second shift was on the ice. And for a defenseman, as many touches as you can is better. And they got him involved in the regroups, skating up with the puck, getting some nice shot attempt. You could tell the forwards were looking for him. And the most important thing, he didn't get caught up on big, long 45-minute-and-a-half shift because that's deadly against a team like Boston.
Yeah, and they had 7 defensemen dressed in that game on Saturday. Not sure what kind of a lineup John Tortorella is going to go with here tonight in this game against the Boston Bruins. That's something we will find out very soon, see if there's any new faces in the lineup here tonight. Coming up next, we're going to hear from the Blue Jackets head coach as we continue with the pregame show on the El Dorado Gaming Soda Downs Blue Jackets Radio Network.